Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. My name's Wazza. Well, that's my nickname anyway. I'm from Australia, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a review, test ride and comparison on the FZ-1. Okay, let's start. Okay, this is a 2009 FZ-1 with 68,000 on it. Alright, let's get our list. You can see it's in pretty good nick. I got this bike second hand, and the previous bike I had for about 3.5 years was an MT-10. So having had that experience and done quite a few Ks on it, I had a holiday, decided to sell it and use the money and spend it with the family. As much as that hurt, we did it and we had a lot of fun. Come back to the coast and decided that I'd still like to ride bikes, so I got this one. And I got this for just under $5,000. 2008 FZ-1n. So if we're going to compare it to the MT-10 that I come off, I would say that this is an R1 engine in line 4 versus cross-plane crank inline 4. The wheelbase is longer on this, which makes it a little bit more stable versus the MT-10, shorter wheelbase, a lot more wheeling. And let's see now, the 2016 MT-10 and the FZ-1 in standard form. The torque figures for the MT-10 are 111 Newton meters at 9,000 RPM. And the FZ-1 is 106 horsepower. MT-10 160.4 at 11,500 RPM versus 150 horsepower at 11,000 RPM. Weight, the MT-10 is 210 kilograms versus 219 kilograms. So you can see everything's sort of around 10 kilograms heavier, 10 horsepower less, 10, roughly 10 pounds of torque less. So what did this bike come with? What did this bike come with? Well, I got all the standard pieces. This here I haven't really mentioned, but I've got that, all that standard there. These end bits here, extras. The radiator guard, that was extra. The Arashi rear set, extra. The Yoshimura pipe was extra on it. The power commander was extra on it. The Oggy knobs, and a K&N air filter. That's what this bike come with, plus all the original pieces and 2 sets of keys. You saw the figure there. I'm approaching 70,000 Ks. I got this at about 54,000 Ks. So since February I've clocked up a few Ks. Now I've used this bike in all conditions, the same as the MT-10. The MT-10, I rode it in the rain, in the dirt, on the track, on the road, all types of road conditions. I've done the same with this bike in the time I've had it, so I've got a fair idea of how good it is. This is a very underrated bike for not a lot of money. I think $6 grand is more like what you pick one of these up for, 6.5 with the extras on it. There are no heated grips, and there are some bikes out there in that figure with lower Ks around that 6.5. What are the extras I've done? Okay, so the extras I've done is the grab rail at the back to put the luggage bag on. So luggage rack. So when I go to the track, I can ride to the track, or I can ride out in the country, spend the night somewhere, and I've got a bag there that I can throw stuff in. I can throw stuff on the back, and when my daughter, who's 11, when she gets on the back of it, she feels safe because there's a grab rail there on the back. There's protection, and that's good for her. So I did that. I tuned the suspension. That's all I've done. I've tuned the suspension. Here it is here. Triple X rated suspension. Okay, triple X rated suspension. What else have I done? The power commander was on this, and I thought, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But with these bikes here, they're an R1 engine. Basically, you know, the history of them is they just took the fairing off, and this is pretty well an R1. But they also detuned the ECU. So I got a Woolwich race tune, because from up to about 4,000 RPM, 4.5, it was a bit slow, and then it picked up, and then it picked up again higher up in the rev range around 9, 10, and then opened all up. Whereas I wanted a bit more down the bottom. So a Woolwich tools that I added, and a dyno tune, and we used the power commander that's on this to smooth it all out and fix it all up. Put the temperature down low where the fan kicks in lower. It runs very smooth right from the word go, straight off the clutch, and she revs all the way through. Sensational. Makes a big difference. If you've got a bike and you're adding bits and pieces to it, you should really just look at tuning it. It's amazing what a difference it makes. And most of your bikes, as you know now, come out and they're lean. The bikes are running lean for emission standards. So if you're going to sort of like fix that a bit with a pipe and add a bit more noise, you might richen that mixture up, and a great way to do that is with the Woolwich tune. There are other products out there. I recommend that because that's what I've used, and it works very well on the MT-10 as well as this bike. So what else is there? Race tools. I am thinking about a quick shifter. Might do that. I am very tempted because at the track it does help, and it is a lot of fun, quick shifters, as you well know. They will use the quick shifter not to the Woolwich ECU, but they'll use it to the power command on these particular bikes. 2009 models. These did not come out with ABS power settings and everything, so it's important to have good tyres, very good tyres. So this bike come with brand new Mentzler on it when I first got it. The front one was a ZR-17, the back one, hang on, I think that was the back one. The front one was a Sporttech M7RR. The front one lasted maybe 8,000 or 9,000 Ks, maybe even 10, and I had no problem with it. It felt good on the road, it felt good on the track. The rear one I just replaced. I got it down to the wire, and I just did about 80 Ks of dirt on Monday, and went down to the garage to get the bike out and had a flat. Luckily I just pumped it up and rang up motorcycle place at Caloundra, and Bob's your uncle, a new tyre, and guess what I got? I got a Road Pilot 5 for the back. I'm running that in now. I found that is a nice tyre. Now the Mentzler ZR-1n on the back, I think that's the right one, it was a bit firmer, and when I went to the track it gives you no feedback at the track as to what it's doing. And so I went around corner 6 at Morgan Park. I gave it power earlier on because I was starting to hunt other bikes and build up speed, and the back end let go and I was very close to high siding. I was wobbling along on the handlebars. Full body, so I was very close. After that I thought, no way, I'm not doing that. Anyway, with the front tyre, the Sport Tech, it was good. It just wore out. I had no problem with it. It didn't really give me too much feedback, but at the track I got a GP racer, and yes, Wazza has done it again. He's put different tyres on the bike. That's a nice sticky tyre for the track. This back tyre here is a nice sticky tyre, and I'm going to the track again on August the 13th. And I'm not an exceptional rider. I'm a fair rider. I've been practicing a lot and I've been to advanced courses, and just keep on practicing, keep on going about your business and get there. And on the MT-10, let's see now, the MT-10 on the 25th of March, no, that was that. Okay, so the MT-10 2016 had a Woolwich race tune suspension, air filter, all that stuff. I did a 133 there, which isn't, it isn't big, but it's exciting, and you don't need to be an expert because there's different groups for everyone. So if you're ever thinking about a track day and you've got a road bike and you're going, oh, I'm not sure, dude, just do it. You'll love it. It's so much, it improves you so much. And the FZ-10, in the second session, when the rear end let go the lap before and I was starting to build up speed, I was 136. So 3 seconds off what I was doing on an MT-10 isn't far, and now with these tyres I think that I can tidy that up. Now what would be the difference? The difference is learning to get later into the corners, brake later, and just learn to be faster in different sections of the track, and how to approach corners deeper and do all that stuff. It's just practice. That's why track days are so good, because it just makes you a better rider. But the R1 suspension works well. The R1 brakes work well. Everything works well on this bike. And it is definitely a budget bike. It doesn't have a really nice front end, but a fairing would sort that out. Just a little mini skirt, just tidy it up. There it is. Let's go for a ride. Alright, let's go for a ride. Here we go. Try and practice with no brakes, but besides that, what a great handling bike. mean, these are so cheap. And if you can't afford an MT-10, well, and you're looking at an older bike, you've only got a little budget. Well, how good is this? It brakes well, it handles well, you can take it to the track easy enough. These are an awesome bike. So how did it go at the track? I said in a previous video, when I first looked at this bike and buying it, I thought to myself, this bike can do alright. Well, as you heard, it was a bit slower than the MT-10, and that's alright. Because I'm not the best rider, but I have learned to get better. And that's just through track days. With the rear tyre now that I have, I think I can feel more confident to push this bike further. Like I said, on the road the other tyre was alright. Gave me no warning and let go. So I'm going to be really looking forward to heading out. I'm going to ride out August the 13th. I think it's August the 13th, Friday next month. Heading out to Morgan Park. So feel free to say hello. A budget, but you still want a cracker of a bike, underrated, and it is an underdog, but it still did alright to track, because in the end anyone can overtake you in a straight. It's the corners where it's at. That's the game. Practice, learn, do advanced rider courses, practice, learn how to ride, keep safe, don't trust anyone. You're responsible for yourself on the road. Do track days, it's so easy.